muchas preguntas.
Ándale pues.
Sí, ok. Estoy estudiando español con Duolingo, pero yo pienso es muy diferente porque es de castellano, español de España, y aquí creo que usamos palabras diferentes. Por ejemplo, en inglés, we're planning to get off at the next station. Con Duolingo, nosotros pensamos bajarnos en la próxima estación, pero yo creo no es correcto. Yo creo nosotros planeamos bajar, porque necesito usar en inglés we, tres.
Dímelo otra vez en español, por favor.
Nosotros pensamos bajarnos en la próxima estación. Pero es muy...
It's clumsy, I mean,
Sí.
a little bit. True. Using the
Aquí
no
decimos, nosotros planeamos, o planeamos.
¿Cómo lo ibas a decir tú? How would you have said that?
Nosotros planeamos bajar.
Solo planeamos bajar.
Sí,
We
pero
plan to.
no bajarnos.
Okay, that's a really good question, and you're going down to subtleties now, which is a more advanced lesson, which is fine. It's good that you're at that point. Here is something you want to keep in mind. Every time you run into one of those, but theoretically straight line logic doesn't make sense, keep in mind that Spanish has 14 time tenses, and English only has 6. So in effect, you're looking at a gap of about 8 different steps where you have to bridge. It's very hard to explain ourselves in English words, something that doesn't exist in English language. Your brain has no concept of it. It's very hard, it takes time. Nosotros planeamos is, first of all, you're right. But my answer to you would have 3 different segments, so let's start with 1. Number 1, it's true that people in Mexico speak different dialect than people in Puerto Rico or Colombia or Spain, very different than Spain. And one of the major glitches with Duolingo and Google Translate is that they will give you every single Spanish dictionary on the planet without being specific to region and dialect, which Mexico is such a big country. We have a very specific dialect here. So when you're talking to the locals and you're looking for feedback from your friends and your neighbors, they're going to give you their feedback, how they say it here, their family says it, which could be different than the words Duolingo chooses. That's number 1. Number 2, going down to the subtleties, those different time tenses exist because they reflect different aspects of time in Spanish. And it's something you know intuitively in any language, in English or any language. But you never stop to think about it. We do it as natural as the air we breathe, so we never cognitively process it. And most people, they zone out in grammar lessons. Nobody liked grammar in school, and the minute we left high school, we never touched it again. Very few people go that route, so for most people, you never stop and think about the air you breathe, so when you do have to, it becomes a bit new. Third aspect. A lot of the local people, I'm going to refer specifically to the region of Vallarta, Nayarit, because that's where we live and those are the people we speak with. It could be different in Chihuahua or in Tabasco. In Vallarta, Nayarit, a lot of the people, nosotros pensamos, they would use pensar in synonymously with planear. Okay? In English, it's more, we plan to get off in the next station. That's just how you phrase it in English. But the fact that you phrase it like this in English doesn't really translate to any other language. Secondly, planear in Mexico, they would use when it really is a planning process involved, like building a house, or planning a wedding, or a quinceañera. So it's more of a really thinking, planning process versus just thinking to hop off in the next stop, which is like short. So for that, pensar works. That's why the locals use pensar on things you would say planear in English, but very clear-cutly, locals would say planear when it's long-term actions. Thirdly, the nose there is really how most of the locals speak, and it gives you a very subtle difference. Nosotros planeamos bajar en la próxima estación versus nosotros planeamos bajarnos. When you say it with a bajarnos, it gives it a more immediate effect. Nosotros planeamos, I could say, we are planning to go to Jalisco next Sunday or eat in that restaurant. It could be a week from now or a year from now. It's kind of like longer, vaguer term. The minute you add the nos there, it becomes immediate. That is why it's there.
Okay. Then that just eliminated 10 more questions. I don't have any more questions.
This is the advanced process. When you get to the advanced stuff, this is what you're looking at.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of brain yoga to get your English speaking brain from, oh, that's so different, to, oh my God, I understand 10 different shades of one word.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes with time. And you've been living here for 4 years now?
Nearly, 3 years. Really.
3 years. You emerge in here, you got friends, workers, neighbors, everything. That becomes easier. But that is a really longer curve. But it's fun. When you get it right, that satisfaction, can't beat that.
No, it's true. Well, it's like I tell all the boys, mi español es muy mal, pero es más mejor que ayer.
¿A huevo?
Y poco.
A huevo, a huevo.
Bueno.
Más mejor que ayer. Thank you. That's a wrap.
Gracias.